Hey guys, Matthew Palumbo from Audiocontrol here, and I'm going to talk to you today about 5 must-have items from Audiocontrol if you're doing OEM integration at your shop. Product number 1, the LC1i. So the LC1i is great for integration when you're just doing a simple add-on a sub type system. It's a 2-channel active LOC, but it's still an audio control product. So it'll accept up to 40 volts of high level input and still give you a really nice, clean, hot output. It has all the latest tech in it from audio control, like built-in LGDs, our updated turn-on modes, all external switching, so no more taking the case apart. And what's more about the LC1i is that it's also a line driver. It's our only LOC product that also has low-level inputs. Why, you might ask? Because there are a handful of vehicles out there that have a low-level factory signal fed into a OEM amplifier. A lot of times we could use that signal. It's full range, maybe it's a flat signal, it's clean, 20 hertz to 20K, all the stuff that we're looking for in a good usable signal, but a lot of times it's really, really low level because it's coming from a factory head unit. So you can actually use an LC1i in that scenario to just bump up that line level. We don't need to convert the signal, we just need to amplify it a little bit. So we can use the LC1i to just act as a line driver in that scenario, and now we have a nice, hot, clean signal coming right from our factory head unit that's going to be usable when adding an aftermarket amplifier. Product number 2, the LC2i Pro. So with the LC2i Pro, we really took everything that was great about the legendary LC2i, the piece that most LOCs are kind of measured against. We really set the industry standard with that piece years ago, but it became time to where we needed to update that piece, add some new features, and set the standard once again. So in comes the LC2i Pro. Everything with that Pro badge on it in that Pro series of products comes with the ACR1, don't forget, and has all of our latest tech. So when you take a look at the LC2i Pro, again, you'll notice all external switching, no need to take off the cover, no need to move little jumpers inside. Everything's right on top, very installer friendly. It's also a sleeker, slimmer, sexier product than before, easier to hide behind a dash or in a kick panel, etc. And you'll notice when you look at all the settings on top, it has, again, all of our latest tech built in, from load select or built-in LGDs. We have our built-in trigger modes so that you can turn this unit on regardless of what type of system you're integrating with. This is really the ultimate piece for adding bass to a customer's vehicle because it also has our legendary AccuBass built in. But this is an updated AccuBass, which has that little LED on top, making it even easier and faster to set up than ever before. So if you loved the LC2i, make sure to check out the LC2i Pro. Product number 3, the LC5i Pro. All right, so you've been using the 2i Pro for a while now and you love it, but what about when you're doing a multi-channel system? Adding a 5-channel amplifier, adding a simple 4-channel and mono type setup, the type of systems most stereo shops do every day. That's where the LC5i Pro comes into play. This is a new product for Audiocontrol. We've never done a 4-channel LOC before, and as usual, we don't just do things like everybody else does. So it's not really just a 4-channel LOC. It's actually a 4-channel input with 6 channels of output. So how does that work? It's got a derived 5th and 6th channel. So basically, if you can give it a front and rear input or a stereo left and right input of high frequency and low frequency, the 5i Pro can give you a full range output using signal summing and also give you a derived 5th and 6th channel for your subwoofer channels. It's pretty slick. Now, because this is a Pro Series product, again, this is going to come with your ACR1 remote and cable in the package, and it also has all of the latest and greatest built in. So we have our built-in LGDs for each input individually. We also have that new turn-on mode section. We have your ground isolation and ground selections right there on top. Everything is exposed. No need to take off the top cover plate. And that legendary AccuBass is built right in with that updated LED circuitry in there, so it's easier to set up than ever. Make sure to check out the LC5i Pro if you're doing OEM integration for those everyday systems. Product number 4, the LC7i Pro. So many of you are familiar with the LC7i. Been around for a while. It's become a staple in most of your guys' arsenals as far as OEM integration goes. Many of you are installing LC7is almost on a daily basis, and that's great. But where's the modern features, right? So that's where the LC7i Pro comes into play. We took the LC7i and added all the latest and greatest to it for our specialty retailers that are doing OEM integration. This is going to be your new benchmark for multi-channel LOC OEM integration type product. So the 7i Pro has everything you need. 6 channels of high level input, up to 40 volts per channel capability. You can do signal summing with up to all 6 channels. So if you need to sum a high, mid, and low signal together to achieve a full range output, you can do that. You can sum just 2 channels or 4 channels together, I should say. However you need to configure it, you can. And what's more, again, all that switching is exposed, so it's much more installer friendly than ever before. You have your updated AccuBase, you have the updated turn on mode section, your ground selection is exposed and easy to get to. Everything's right there at your fingertips to do a quality install and make sure that vehicle sounds its absolute best using the LC7i Pro. Again, it's part of our Pro series of products too, so it comes with that ACR1 in the package. Product number 5, the Epicenter Micro. So when most of you think about the Epicenter, you don't think of OEM integration and the Epicenter going hand in hand, but the Epicenter Micro was truly designed as an Epicenter that is perfect for OEM integration. It can do its thing and work its magic on pretty much any system, whether that's an aftermarket source unit or a factory system you're integrating with. So with the Epicenter Micro, the reason we suggest it for OEM integration, and you want to make sure you don't get caught without one, is we're starting to see more and more vehicles rolling into the bay that just have no bass at all. So if you haven't experienced this yet, here's what I'm talking about. There are some vehicles that are starting to come in that don't have anything below about maybe 70 hertz, 60 hertz, depending on the vehicle. So unlike using AccuBase, where you're restoring bass that was lost due to bass roll-off processing in a factory radio, this is different. This is a vehicle where no matter which channel you check, which channel you RTA or measure, there's just no bass at all at any volume level. That's a whole different story. And the Epicenter is really the only product out there that can fix that and make it into a usable signal. Because how the Epicenter works is it's analyzing what that incoming signal looks like, seeing what the lowest bass present in the signal path, and it's going to put bass in artificially 1 octave below. So if you're working on, say, a base model Honda Accord from about 2017 on up, let's say, you may run into those vehicles that just have no bass below about 70 hertz in those Hondas. If you have an Epicenter Micro in that signal path, now you're going to have bass down to about 35 hertz. So when you look at the Epicenter Micro, not only does it have our legendary high-level input section capable of up to 40 volts per channel of input, it has built-in LGDs, it has the modern turn-on modes, it has all the goodies you need to do OEM integration, but it also comes with our new ACR4 remote control. This is a dual concentric knob. It has the outer ring for Epicenter effect, and the inner knob is going to control just subwoofer level. So no longer do you need to take the time to run 2 cables and install 2 separate knobs. The ACR4, which comes with the Epicenter Micro only, does the job of both and gets it all done in one shot. So if you're doing OEM integration, make sure you've got an Epicenter Micro in stock so that you're prepared when those vehicles come in the bay. Once again, Matthew Palumbo from Audiocontrol here, and I just gave you 5 products that are must-haves if you're doing OEM integration at your shop. So one more thing I'm going to mention before we wrap this up. Every product we showed you today had built-in load select switches. Essentially what that is these little guys, the LGDs from Audiocontrol, built right into those products. But don't forget, if you are using a different product, maybe you're using some legacy Audiocontrol pieces or another brand's LOCs or integration pieces, you can use LGDs available separately with any of those types of installations as well. So for more information on anything we talked about today, make sure to go to www.audiocontrol.com and you can find out all the details.